of Straight Talk, and time for me to bid you a very pleasant night if you are in St. Kitts and Nevis and or throughout the entire Caribbean region. To my Straight Talk family in the Kittitian and Nivision diaspora, I say greetings to all who are logged on to zizonline.com and those of you who are on the World Wide Web and we normally simulcast as well via Sugar City FM, StKitts.com. And I know that you are all over the world. Some of you are in Africa, some of you are in Asia, there's some of you in Europe, and there are a whole lot of you all over North America. So I am at liberty to say good night. I can say good morning and or I can say good afternoon because one of such greetings is applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. Yes, my Straight Dog family, perhaps still locked down from this terrible COVID pandemic. But Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, you do have a forum to express yourselves freely. Let's, in the process, continue to keep St. Kitts and Nevis as one of the freest countries in the entire world. On Straight Talk, we also try to raise the level of national consciousness. We try to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patch Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation, my Straight Dog family, on yet another occasion. And the last time we had a conversation, I spoke to my sentence to 14 days in quarantine. Yes, 14 days in confinement. But we have long gone past that, my Straight Dog family, and I have some 9 days, I think, 9 days remaining uh, in confinement, and it means things, if all things go well, I should say, there are 9 more days remaining in confinement. And I want to make the point, lest I was misunderstood, that quarantine is used to keep someone like me away from others because I came from a hotspot and might have been exposed to COVID-19. So quarantine therefore helps to prevent the spread of the disease that can occur before a person like me knows that I am sick or if I'm infected with the virus without feeling symptoms. In other words, I may be asymptomatic, meaning I have the virus but do not have symptoms of the virus. If you ask me, I believe that I am responsible enough to be allowed to self quarantine or stay at home and not receive visitors in order to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. For how long and according to what rules, though, would have depended on the protocols laid down by the NEOC. It is what it is, though, and as I sit here in solitary confinement, my mind continues to race to many issues, and one such issue: there are some people in our midst who pretend to be apolitical, yet they display a real biased position in regards to the team unity's handling of COVID 19 as they try to make it a political matter. Like Douglas, after two successive defeats at the polls, he's still seeking power in the governmental or in public affairs of Kitts and Nevis. Yes, he is still striving to once again become our political boss. From my vantage point, however, here in confinement, I looked at the sitting of the National Assembly on Tuesday gone, and I can confess publicly that I am happy I do not support the Douglas Labour Party. And yes, I know that the Kunumuno went back on board and the racists went back on board, but I am happy I left. And I can tell you, my straight dog family, I won't go back on board with Douglas. The truth is, though, the opposition in Parliament is leaderless, as I looked at the National Assembly, as I said on Tuesday. After over 88 years in existence, the Labour Party has sunk to its lowest level of politics because it is leaderless. When you examine the current opposition benches in Parliament, you will find that no one stands out in the spotlight of public opinion, and no one can be tagged with the job of responsibly representing the Labour Party as a whole. With no leader and no program that the opposition Labour Party can uphold in the Parliament, the 2 millions with Douglas run the risk, with a discredited standard bearer, that the party would descend to a lower ebb while it scurries off into all directions in search of personal political gains. Our country at this time cannot afford any disruption from a leaderless minority party milling in all directions. Whatever we tolerated under Douglas in the past, the present stakes and dangers of COVID 19 are too great to allow any disruption to the political gains made under team unity. St. Kitts and Nevis is faced with an economic crisis, deeply tied into a COVID 19 budget, and this only intensifies the need for stability and range in our government policies that can help to build a stronger, safer future. It only increases the need for leadership at this juncture when we face a serious pandemic, thus making the safety and security of our people paramount. As I looked at the morning session of the National Assembly on Tuesday, though, it made me reflect on the notion that Parliament is an institution that embodies society in the diversity of its composition and its opinions, and which relays and channels this diversity into the political process. Its function is to regulate tensions and maintain equilibrium, maintain balance between the competing claims of diversity and uniformity, individuality and collectivity, in order to enhance social cohesion and solidarity. The role of Parliament is to legislate, amongst other things, inter alia, by allocating financial resources and providing oversight of the approved action. The country therefore needs a responsible opposition. But when you look at the composition of the minority party in Parliament, it is frightening to come to grips with the fact that these members on the opposition benches form what is called the alternative government. Could you imagine them running the affairs of this country? On the opposition benches, there are 3 doctors, but apparently only one of them is a medical doctor and perhaps, just perhaps, can still administer an injection. But his ship has already sailed, and we learned that so long ago by Straight Talk family.
What we have now is a situation where instead of Dr. Douglas accepting that his ship has sailed, he's polluting his legacy now with the type of noise that we associate with so many other leaders in the Caribbean. The challenge is that we've heard it all before.
Yes, another one seems to be a young braggadocio, laced with arrogance, and had to be given guidance by Prime Minister Harris, my Straight Talk family. I trust that such guidance will be taken on board.
The senator opposite reminds me of the former member for number 2. And I don't know if it is by coincidence that they are sitting in the same place. She's not a rah, but the substance of the presentation is the same. When Marcella was here, it was always something off target. So we see a similar thing. And it pains me to hear a teacher come into the parliament time after time to speak of the inadequacy in a deliberate way, not to lift up, not to empower, but almost to destabilize the system. It's unfortunate. Teacher wants to come in the parliament and to grandstand. And when you say, this is the parliament, use those official channels because of them. The teacher will say to you, well, you all can't tell me anything because I am a doctor, but she can't give injection. That's the point of that arrogance that we hear from someone new to the parliament who should be encouraged to follow the highest examples of the Westminster parliamentary style, but they are encouraged in that behavior.
And my Straight Talk family, the 3rd doctor I classify as a doctor of words, or rather, he doctors every word he is given to read. Every word he is given to read, he doctors that word. And this started even before he got to the parliament, because some time ago he started doctoring words like this one, my Straight Talk family.
He's going to hand over the leadership to me. I don't want his leadership. I am going to revolutionize the education system.
Yes, my straight dog family. He doctored legacy and called
He's
it
going to hand over.
legacy. Legacy, my straight dog family. He also doctored this word in the parliament that went before this one.
We know in the past, Mr. Speaker, doors like this that would have been opened would have created shenanigans and that's what I said. Okay, shenanigans.
Yes, he doctored shenanigans and, in his own way, created shenanigans. And that's what we have on the opposition benches, my straight dog family. Just yesterday, he continued to doctor the words. And another word he doctored and exposed his secret or dishonest activity that earned him a doctorate. He went and he doctored this word as well.
My view is that there is the amalgamation of regulatory provisions that we are calling an act.
Yes, he doctored regulatory provisions and he created his own word, regulatory regulations. Do not go searching for any of these words like regulatory, leadership, or shenanigans. You will neither find them in Collins, Webster's, or any other dictionary, as that's another of the many words, or these are the words, or many words, he will continue to doctor. And more will come, because he's a very slow learner. I am happy, however, that the ordinary man and woman in St. Kitts and Nevis are not fooled by this doctor. Because the ordinary man understands and even questions where he bought or stole this doctorate.
When I listen to Mr. Hanley, Jeffrey Hanley, I want to know where them they get they doctor, when they get doctor. These people just come use the doctor term. Because when I listen to Mr. Hanley presentation in Parliament, I want to know what kind of doctor you be.
That's a fair question. What kind of doctor he be? According to Mr. Politics in his colloquial parlance, my straight dog family. He must what kind of doctor is he? I think that's what he. My straight dog family, you see for yourself, you see, my straight dog family, that by the opposition, what is being presented, my straight dog family,
He's going to
is
hand over.
what is being presented, and forgive me, my straight dog family, as we got these matters straightened out, my straight dog family, and you see you see for yourself rather what was presented by the opposition Labour Party as an alternative to your team unity government. You see for yourself what has been presented by your members in parliament now on the opposition benches. Now, I believe I said before that the country needs a good opposition. I believe I said that before. The country needs a good opposition, my straight dog family. And I'm sure that you will agree that we do need a good opposition. I also believe, however, that the role of the opposition only partly is only partly to oppose and not to oppose everything or oppose for the sake of opposing. I think of the role constructively or more constructively as holding the government to account. Mark you, opposing the government can be most useful, for the opposition in defining its own position. But that position must be rational and that position must be serious. I contend. The position must be rational and the position must be serious. Not like this, one for sure, my straight up family.
When you would have heard that there has been a down payment or something of that kind of nearly $1 billion, $1 million, US dollars at that, I don't know. I heard $900,000. Everybody said it's US. But I don't know. We need to bring precise information to our people on this matter. And so people are saying $1 million down payment for vaccines. The vaccines ain't gonna come until 2021. But what about us? We done that before. People are saying that, and they want to know, well, what is the priority here? We need to know how much money came out of the Treasury, who signed the check, where the check went. We don't want to get into discussions that we've had before with this guy from New York, etc., etc., etc. We want to make sure that everything is above board.
And my straight talk family, the COVID issue or the COVID crisis is a serious one, and we cannot be pussyfooting like this in Parliament.
Member for St. Christopher 6, Dr. Denzel Douglas.
I rise because I should. I feel obliged. I did not intend to speak on the bill because, in fact, the bill was in my name, and I asked that the learned Attorney General should lead in this matter, having regard to the excellent leadership he has brought as a member of the task force and as a minister responsible for the Mitigation Council, and all the work that has been ongoing as part of our efforts to deal with a global pandemic, which everywhere has brought pain, which everywhere has brought on a crisis not only of a health nature, but certainly of a fiscal and economic nature. So it is serious. But what we can say, and what we ought to commend, that the leadership of St. Kitts and Nevis, in the face of the worst pandemic ever seen in a lifetime, has been second to none. And we have received international acclamation and recognition for our superb performance. And every citizen and every resident of my beloved country of St. Kitts and Nevis can share in the pride of knowing that our country is doing well. Our country is seen as an example of a small country that knows what to do in the face of a pandemic. And that is why persons come to us to ask questions, for us to share our experiences. That point must never be lost upon our people. When we
And my straight talk family, the COVID pandemic is a serious matter. And when we look at the presentation in Parliament from those opposite, from what should be an alternative government, you have to say to yourselves, my straight talk family, we are fortunate. We are extremely fortunate that we've had or we have a government, a team unity government like this one, and a leader as the one we have as well, my straight dog family. My straight dog family, it's important as well that we note that even in these difficult times, the best approach employed by a headless opposition is to play politics with a serious pandemic. How can we play politics with a serious pandemic? And that's what the leader and the opposition continues to do.
They have to be approved to come to their yard. This is their yard. You can't just simply make people to believe they are second-class citizens in their own country. Because right now, it is out there that tourists are being treated better than them. I'm telling you, it's out there. And that is why I am saying it in this way. It is this talk out there in the town. The point is critically important that our citizens are made to feel that they can return home and don't have to have approval from a government to come to their yard. That is the point I want to make.
Yes, my straight dog family, it is a serious crisis. And the headless opposition continues to play politics with this serious crisis. Well, truth be told, I am better than nobody, and nobody is better than me. And I'm sure you would think the same way. Because the book of Genesis reminds us that when God created the world, God created humanity in the divine image. The soul imbued by straight dog family within, within each of us is equally divine and pure. The Jewish sages teach us that this common ancestry reminds us that we are all equal and worthy of the same dignity and respect. I am not a Bible scholar, but there are so many scripture verses that speaks to equality. Romans 2 verse 11 speaks to the impartiality of God. He says, for God shows no partiality. Galatians 3 verse 28 says there is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither slave nor free, there is no male and female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. John 13 verse 16 reads, truly, truly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. So I cringed when I heard the headless opposition propose in the parliament that we should throw open the doors to citizens and let them come backyard. Could you imagine the consequence, my straight dog family? we have to beware of those on the opposition benches, my straight dog family. You cannot, you really, you really cannot throw back our doors just like that.
And we have to be careful to talk about caring when it suits them. But it seems, for political purposes, they want to just shove back the door wide open. Let man come back a yard. You come back a yard in time. You come back a yard when it is convenient. You will come back a yard in a manner that protects those of us who stood in the yard. That is what will happen. We are a small country, and every medical practitioner knows we have a limited number of rooms that could be put to isolation, and therefore you can't sell the falsehood. And if you all want to come back home, come back a yard, man. Not going to work. In fact, it is an unwise thing to put that proposition.
My straight dog family, this is the alternative government we have. The alternative government on the opposition benches. And this is scary. And this is something I want us to chew on tonight. And any other matter you want to raise. But while here in confinement, and I listened to the National Assembly last Tuesday, I was worried and still am. I'll go to the lines, my straight dog family, and perhaps you may have a different view to mine. I'll entertain your calls and entertain your emails. You can raise this matter and any other matter that I may have missed while I'm here in quarantine. The numbers are 465 2555. That's one line. There's one number, beg your pardon. There are three lines. And the overseas line is 718 577 2916. Or for those of you who like the cloak of anonymity, I give you access via my email platform, and the address is zizstraightalk at gmail.com. That's zizstraightt at gmail.com. I always like to implore you to respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. Let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. Let us, in the process as well of saying the things and doing the things, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. I hail my brother and mayor from St. Paul's. As we go to the lines, my straight of family, the lines are open. Again, the numbers are straight. Let's go to the lines. Caller, you are live. Yes, caller, go ahead. What you should do, callers, when I say go ahead, just start speaking. Caller, you are live. We seem to be having some difficulty with the lines here again. Just be with us, my straight up family. Let's see what's happening to our lines here again. The mayor in the house having difficulties. But let's go back to the lines, caller. Seem to be having some difficulties with the lines here again. Theo Clark is in the studio. I can see him, and that's something we're gonna have to cope with. And I crave your tolerance for the next 2 shows or so, and then I will be out of quarantine and be able to handle those calls myself. But our setup here from a virtual perspective creates difficulty for me to handle uh, call it. We trust that Theo will just switch up properly for us, and let's see if we can go back to lines one more time. If you have just joined us, my Straight Talk family, we introduce the issue that's before us tonight as looking at the alternative government that we have, looking at our headless opposition, the opposition we have in Parliament, and I wanted to ensure that you yourself be part of the discussion. But so I wanted to hear from you yourself, my Straight Dog family. But there's obviously some difficulty there in the studio. Theo Clark, I hope will sort it out for us. In the meantime, you may have joined us just after I started, and I must emphasize the point that again, a quarantine is used to keep someone, someone like me, who is in confinement now, keep me away from others because I came from the hotspot and I just might have been exposed to COVID-19. So quarantine therefore helps to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, the spread of the disease that can occur before a person knows definitively that he or she is sick, or if he or she is infected with the virus without feeling the symptoms, because it is said that some people, and I myself, may be asymptomatic, meaning I may have the virus, but I do not show or do not have the symptoms of the virus. If you ask me, I believe that I am responsible enough to be allowed, as I said, self-quarantine. My Church Dog family. I am responsible to stay at home and not receive visitors. I believe I can do that in order to prevent the spread of the coronavirus because it protects me as well. But for how long, that would have to be determined, and that would have to be done within the parameters of the rules or the protocols laid down by the NEOC. It is what it is, though. And as I sit here in quarantine, my mind continues to race. I get occupied. I consider many issues. And one of the issues I raise tonight uh, is the issue that there are some people in our midst who are not asymptomatic, they are apolitical. But let's go to the lines, my Dog family, and see if you can entertain this call. Call you live.
Good night, my dear beloved brother. So nice to hear you again. How are you? I hope you're doing better. And the quarantine is a must. This corona coming this world as a big stumbling block. It discourages your family from seeing you. You can't see them. You can't visit them. Corona, corona, corona. Anyhow, Parliament Tuesday was hot. Hot, hot, hot. Dr. Benicia Nisbet, she tell it like it is. Her maiden speech, man, I had to go back and hug up. She was good. And she sent them a message. I like the part when she said, let me send you a message. And she outlined the doctor part and the medical team and how they work tirelessly. The CMO and the entire medical team for this corona. And she touched me part when she talked about the $120 million. I just can't forget that. I just can't forget it. She touched very each me. When she said that, I said, yes, you are the right track. Our government is going to be all right, And this corona, God going to send it out. And someday we're going to meet with family and be happy and healthy. And I'm not saying everybody get sick because you want to see them and they want to see you. You have to pray and beg God guidance and help us to go through this trial time. Anyhow, you take care of yourself, and I'm so happy to hear you again. Safe journey home? I assume you must be home. I don't know. But have a good night. Pleasant night to you.
Pleasant night as well, my dear. Yes, I am home in quarantine and will be for the next 9 days if all goes well. Let's go back to the.
Yes, Guru Liburd, Honorable Patches. I don't like how you call it Honorable Sam Kunumuno, because some of you, the woman fool are you. So don't call him no Kunumuno. Anyway, you got a good program, and when you come out of quarantine, everybody gonna want to see you. But everybody want to know if you're quarantine in your place and how paying for your quarantine. That's what I wanted to know, sir. You got to tell them. And advance birthday going out to Mr. Japan Sunday, his birthday, and many, many more birthdays. Have a blessed evening. A little bit to say. So I may want nobody abuse me.
Okay, thanks for your input. That's my good neighbor friend from down west, I am paying for my quarantine. I normally pay my bills. I am not quarantined at home. I'm considered to be, I think I'm in the category of vacation at place. I may be wrong, but I'm not at home. And I haven't called Sam's name for the night. So trust me, I am not certain what you are talking about. But that's what Straight Talk is all about, my Straight Talk family. And it's in fact 10 minutes before 9, I go back to the lines.
Yeah. Hello, good evening, Dr. Ian Patches, Liburd. How are you doing, brother? Okay. I am glad that you're quarantined for 2 weeks, that you can't go down by Jasmine and Bible go eat no pork. So you stay in there and eat steso. Now you see how people that get themselves in trouble? You ain't call Sam name and call him no kunumuno, you know. And that woman they gonna come on and say, don't call Sam no kunumuno. Woman, get your fact right. Because when me in politics say, man in Peter Cabbage, ma'am, we don't call anybody name. And you come on and you abuse. You don't do that. Patches, you telling lawyer any man. Anyway, Patches, I want to say this here, brother. Good night. We have to thank God for the government we have. Because if Dr. Harris and his full government team never had the vision of what this coronavirus could do, and it is doing to the whole world, this corona has no exception who we can touch. The only exception is we, the citizens, all who are alive, is supposed to keep that off of here. We're supposed to live without that. So that is the only exception. Keep away from us. Now you hear some of them clips that you play, what Douglas say in Parliament. Douglas really ain't gonna shame, you know. He ain't got no shame, and shame supposed to start with me before I go condemn somebody else. What nonsense the man they come in talking about? Come a yard way. He think this is when he say that if people could line up to shop, they could line up to vote with the ignorance. How could you let people who positive with this corona just come in so without any preparation to protect the citizens and the civilians, everybody who live here in the Federation of St. Kitts. We have to put things in place. That is what this government has done. When they don't got everything in place, then we say, okay, we're free enough to come in. But under strong observation from the government, that is what they're doing. So how could he, a failed leader of a good party that he take up from Mr. Limo and Fitzroy Boyan and them, from all 8, from 4-4 to Battle and Stone, to nearly drown in a boat up near which where Sam say that man will do anything to get into office. In the dead of night he went across to Nevis in a fishing boat and almost drowned, can't wait. Sam said that. So from all of that effort he make, and then he come in and he get 8, then he dwindle down to 7, then he dwindle down to 4. Now he dwindle down to nothing. Because people who are there with him, they get fed up. And they're not stifling their conscience anymore. And they tell him, you have to go. You are the downfall of the party. The party ain't going anywhere with you in it. As a head and a leader, you need to move. You got other young people in there. You got the woman from St. Paul. You got Canvas in there. And you got Dr. Jew in there. It's time for you to move and understand them. They're going to tell you, you go out a yard because you bring confusion in a yard. So now go in the parliament go tell Dr. Harris, but people want to come a yard. Don't read the foolishness. When Bragadam say he buy a passport, I think it's nearest passport, from the government of St. Kitts in that time under his administration, why he never come and inform the nation that he sell a passport for US dollars, $1 million US dollars. It was not easy, US dollars. So when he gonna come criticize Dr. Harris and say about the money that put aside for medication or whatever it is for the corona, he must say whether it's easy or US. He did it. Take the beam out your eye first, brother, before you come tell people about mouthing people eye. Patches, I will come back for me second do. No pig mouth for you. You stay quarantine, man. Thank you, Patches.
Thank you very much. You know, I need to clarify though, Mr. Culture, that yes, I, d- I eat pork from Jasmine, but I don't eat Jasmine's pork. I eat Bible's pork. Bible is the chef, and he doesn't cook his pork with here. Let's go back to the Lions caller. You're live.
And I will be on Patches Labor. Good night. Patches, I want to commend you. And that's why I always come on the radio and call you the Honorable Ian Patches Liburd. Because I believe he's an honorable man. You get elected by the people of number one in East Bastille. And you have delivered for them. Whatever caused you to lose, I don't know. Because human being is very ticklish and very funny. You understand? But when I listen to the man who say he beat you and in Parliament right now, which is I do not believe he have nothing to offer to the people in constituency number one. I don't know, you know, as a new elected member in Parliament, you understand? Suppose you go say you're going to the people, you're going to run political line, party line. Party line won't let the people, and this young senator, they won't let the people, say what you're going to do, say what you're going to do, if you get in there and whatever you're going to do, and, you know, just running, following the farmer leader, whoever they get them who read in Parliament, they're talking about that. But parties, let me tell you, right? We elect a unity government in 2015. You understand? We got some new members win the seat and they come into Parliament. Parties, I know that it'll be hard, you know, because they got to look after the portfolio and everything. But politics, parties, even once a month, they come around and see what the constitution is doing. Because parties, me, as a unity supporter with PLP, because I work for PLP in two elections. And I want to see them come around and talk to the people, do not shy back from the people, because people coming to me and complaining. You understand? Because parties, let me tell you now, I want to see a unity government form even for 3 terms in this country, you know. Because only when this country could go forward, you know. Because under this point of this COVID-19 patches, the corona, we're destroying the whole world. And we in this federation have think it needless as corona free. With 19 we had and everybody done in things. Patches, I just calling on the ministers of the government, you understand, to make sure you all look up on the constituency more often. Because a lot of complain. Patches have a wonderful, if I get back, I get back.
Have a wonderful night as well. And could you really imagine having Douglas at the helm and he wants to open the doors wide in times like these?
Have to be approved to come to their yard. This is their yard. You
Okay. Patches, a pleasant good evening to you. How are you? I hope you're fine. And Mr. Politics, you don't have to tell them, go out, go look for the constituency. They know what. They still are you. So you don't have to tell them, go out, go look for nobody.
Them know when to go and what's not and where. And stop let people tell you what to do. If they want to spread the news, let them get on the radio like you and say what they got to say. Do not go, let nobody tell you nothing and come contact the ear come say so. Let them come up and say what they got to say. Because they are the same cookie one. So you don't take nothing from nobody. Apaches, I want to congratulate Dr. Nisbet and Wendy Fitz because they do a good job with that opposition girl. So I want to congratulate them, especially Miss Nisbet. She really stuck it to her because I think when she come in there, she's supposed to sit down, relax, and do not play that raw snake there, the cobra snake there. Set her up because that's what he's trying to do. Trying to set her up. So she better be careful because thing was there before her, Kathy, and where is Kathy today? And when Kathy calling him, he won't answer his phone. So she will be in the same bracket as Kathy. So she better be careful and relax when she go in the house and take her time and what's not, and come out a good girl where she want people to respect her. Try to do something that people could respect her because if she respects herself, nobody gonna respect her. And stop go on like a junkie sailor in the house. And be good until you're ready to come out of quarantine. Okay.
Yes, thank you for the guidance. Thank you for the support. Yes, I'll be, as I said, confine myself. Let's go back to the lines. Call it live.
Yes. Good evening, Honorable Patrick. I call back. You are who are in government. You are supposed to help the opposition that when they want to do a building, you are give them the money. Cause it's all taxpayer money in there. Ain't all your money. It's taxpayer money. So when my Labour Party asking for some donation, some money, you all have to give them because all those is paying the tax deal. So you don't hold on for all that money. And I want a football thing up the village by the pasture of the village. And the other one over by King Canvas, then we're back over there because they ain't see no stadium, nothing over there. So don't tell me that King Canvas were in and another Sam were in. I wanted a football thing, stadium thing out there that when rain comes, people could go into shelter. So don't tell me who got from who not got, because it's taxpayer money. And you have a blessed evening and enjoy your country and read your Bible. See you.
That's a very interesting perspective, right? The opposition would submit their budgets and you give them money for their building. Imagine that. Caller, you live.
Yes, but don't take a you know, some in the business before, and he no do nothing, and Candice come, and he no do nothing. So what she want you to do? You don't take her and she look up, she just wake up out of she sleep, you hear me? Don't take her and she say, come and attack nonsense. I wait.
Okay, let's entertain the views. Let's try to. We may not accept them, but let's respect them, though. But we go straight back to the lines. Call your line.
Good night, Ian Patches Liburd. You know me, and I know you. Patches, I want to congratulate both sides, the young senators then, especially the doctor. You understand? They deliver. But the young girl, we know she reading out of Douglas' Testament. You know, but as a young senator entering into Parliament, she must understand that people out there, she got to gravitate onto her. And she don't be so braggadocious. You must give the government a little credit for what they have doing in the corona. I just, the future of these young people in Parliament, it look bright. Very, very bright. Miss Clark, she have a lot of potential, but she can't persuade by Douglas. She must be she own. You understand? That is what we want to see, because the dynamics of the politics changing. It's a different science now. You understand, Mr. Liburd? It's a different science. In sync it's politics. And they must understand that. I want to say before I go to the young doctor, her future looks very bright. She understanding the parliament, and I think she in good hands. Have a good night, my brother.
Have a good night as well, my dear brother. Yes, reminding us that the political dynamics have changed. Of course, we are in the 21st century, and we are as well experiencing a pandemic. Never had one like that in over a century. We go back to the lines, call your live.
Hello? Yeah. Okay. Good night, Mr. Patches. It's so wonderful to...
Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. Are you there, caller? Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. I'm trying as well to get to upload my emails for those who are wondering what's happening with my emails. But I said very early that we do have on the opposition benches, we do have some cause for concern, because I believe over on the opposition benches over there is headless, and I say so with respect. Because on the opposition benches, there is no leader. There is no program that the opposition Labour Party can uphold in the parliament. The two minions with Douglas run the risk with a discredited standard bearer. Let's run the lines caller. You are live.
Mr. Patrick, from the time I put on the radio card over, you were listening to the House Assembly. And from the time I put on my radio, and I hear the number one speaker from number one were talking. I never know a man could talk so much rubbish in all his whole life. I had to lock off the radio. And I went in the bed. Because I know I hear the rubbish. And I'm saying tonight, thank God for the Prime Minister. Thank God for the unity government that moving through this country. And I'm saying tonight, Mr. Patel, I tell you what and I tell you again, there ain't nobody can come let you know. and find and nobody coming to look for words. And so you the straight man when you start used to talk in the parliament, man has to stand up and listen to you. But right now, what me hearing from the opposition benches, when me hear them talk, I have to look off the radio. And so, Mr. Patrick, you stay put in quarantine and be strong. How about courageous? And let me tell you something, I will tell you this. When you close accounting, don't let nobody frustrate you. Because they will have you already. And they let you go. So please, do not let nobody frustrate you. I love the unity team, and I love you, Mr. Patrick. Have a pleasant night.
Have a pleasant night as well, my dear brother, and believe me, I love you more. And you're so correct. When you look at the opposition benches, there's cause for concern. Let's go back to the line. Just call your line.
Good evening, Mr. Patches, and it seems as though from listening to you that you obviously enjoyed your quarantine, your self-isolation, wherever you are. Hope they don't have you up at Brimstone Hill. Anyhow, I'm only teasing you. But tell me something, I'm a little concerned. Why are we overly concerned about the quality of the opposition? That is for them to be concerned about. I mean, if they go in the parliament and chat a lot of rubbish, let them go in and chat rubbish. They must go in there and impress people. And if they don't have that ability to impress persons so that they can follow them, and give the impression that they know what they're talking about and that sort of thing, we shouldn't be worried about that. They have then got to get up and realize that the leader not really up to scratch, and let them go out and find a leader. We can't be hunting down for a leader for them, suggesting Congress or what's his name, Drew or something. Next minute we get up and say, let's just put Ian Liburd as opposition leader or something. We can't do that. We have to let them sort out their own differences and try and rebuild. If they want to do that, they might not want to do that. Because remember, Douglas is the financier of the whole party, and they probably recognize too that if there's no Douglas, there's no Labour Party, because he had all the money over the last 20 years, as far as I could see. So let them worry about it. I do not believe that we should be worried about it. I could be wrong, but please convince me otherwise, because I don't see an answer ahead of me. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, caller. I understand you, but there's a notion, and it is well accepted in a democracy, that the parliament is an institution that embodies society and it needs an opposition. But let's go back to the line. Let's call your line.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable
Hey, dear caller. Okay, we seem to have lost that caller. But as I was saying, there is a notion that Parliament is an institution. Let's go back to the lines. We seem to have this caller.
Yes, Patches, I'm here again. Patches, I am very concerned with the way people are driving on our streets. Now, we have seen too many persons get knocked down with vehicles on our street. carelessly. And a lot of them is because of jockey and attention. And these things should not be. Now, if you check out this street from West Farm, let's say to Camps, but there is only one ditch. That is West Farm, they go down by the Abbott. And that ain't even a ditch that you could feel it because it's a straight note. But it's only there because to take the rain from the water from spreading across the street. And the other ditch they had there was what do you call it? Jupwood ditch. And they lift up that to a level degree. Now, I think it's true that they had an accident down there. A vehicle turn over, roll over.
Okay.
We've lost.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and Queen Nzinga. Blessed evening, my beloved African brother. Hope all is well, beloved. Well, first, before start what I got to say, let me just say hello to my brothers, sisters and brothers over there in the Pan-African Republic of Ethiopia. You know, by extension, the entire federation. And let me sing loud. About 3 persons, Queen Mother Henry, my young African, Pan-Africanist brother over there in Cairn, Brother Greg Hobart, a.k.a. Oba, and Brother Politics, beloved. No, beloved, brother, we must not waste time. We as African people, beloved, have a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. And any traitor or traitors of the African race, don't waste no time on them. Just play some verbal fire at them and just leave them. Just let them there to rot. We have our children, our grandchildren, and the unification of African people globally. We don't have time for traitors of the African race. Don't waste time on them. We have a lot of work to do globally. And we must start, beloved brother, where we reside, all of us, whether on the African continent or in the diaspora, whether we deal with St. Kitts Nevis, brother and sisters, we must deal with our people, man. We must bring up our people economically, beloved brother. We don't want to accept crumbs no more. Our ancestors don't fought for centuries ago. Our ancestors fought for that. And I ain't gonna go through and fight for the same thing that our ancestors fought for centuries ago. That's not advancement. That's not forward thinking and forward moving forward. No, that's backwardness. We must advance, and every generation of Africans should do better than the generation before them in all spheres of life. So we can't go back to those old foolishness, man. We've done long past that. We must, beloved brothers and sisters, we must fight on a different front, not go over and over and over the same nonsense. No. Don't pass that like the mighty power say. In this day and age, we pass that stage. You must go at a different level, a different height. We must do that. And we must ensure that in these islands, man, we African people is the vast majority population, the majority population, I must say. We must control all spheres of life. We must control especially the economic power, political power, every phase of life in the society. We must control that. Those are taking crumbs that fall off the table. No, them days are done, and we must ensure that. Now let me go to the National Assembly. In the National Assembly, let me first say, you got some good people inside here. You got some good people. But what needs to be done and need to see, I hear that we need to hear Pan-African voices inside there, man. We got the same old, petty bourgeois, neo-colonial thinking in the National Assembly still. We need to hear Pan-African thinkers, and Pan-Africanists must, let me repeat that, must involve in politics. We must form a Pan-African political movement, not just in St. Stephen's, throughout the world, starting from the African continent. But I'm dealing in St. Kitts and Nevis, and that must be done. And before I make my exit in this form of life, that must be done. I mean, I'm getting up there in age, but these young sisters and brothers must ensure that that must be done. And I'm going to make sure that that must be done, beloved. So my beloved brother, keep up the great works. Pan-Africanism our purse. Well love, my beloved brothers and sisters.
Yes, one love, my dear brother. An Africanist. But it's now 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. As we continue taking our calls, I'll go straight back to lines. Call your line.
Yeah, Dr. Patrice, I'm here again. Now, Patrice, when we see someone going wrong, it is our duty to guide them to go the right way. I was saying before that our streets are so smooth that it seems like people forget that they're on the same road. We are having too many deaths by juke and attention drivers, and we can't let that go on no longer. No longer. Now coming from Boyd's to as far as Camps or Buckley's, but there is only, you have two ditch. River West Farm got there, which goes down by the Abbott, and that is no deep ditch to turn any vehicle overboard. It's almost 180-degree flat. And the other one they had up by Juport got, and the one they raised up. So you can't feel the dip down nothing now. It's all straight. And Tuesday we had an accident down there. Vehicle flip over, and drop on the roof. And that is caused by going too fast on the streets. So when I hear the report about the dip down in a ditch, I said, no, that is going too fast. And so police cannot be here there like every lamppost. You don't misconstrue me. Police cannot be here there and everywhere. But the government get a lot of vehicles to the police there some 2 years ago, and a lot of them bump up, dent up, and I don't know what the reason why. But we have to put more patrol around the country. Patrol means go so. Where you going so? One going so. To make our streets safe, because you got some ignorant drivers out there, they have no regard for other people's lives. Once they're going at the speed where they want and something in front of them going slow, they're going to overtake. They don't care for a rule or a backer coming towards them, they're going through. And if there are no police out there patrolling, they ain't going to do those ignorance. Let me move up to in town. The old grammar school past through. The football thing here. But it run away with a lot of shrubs. And people been calling for have it clean. Well, some time ago, my brother there, Brother Blake, and others were to go in there and clean up the grass, but they were told that they cannot go in there. Well, I don't know who stopped them and for what reason. Well, if they're going in here to cut down the bushes, they ain't going in the building, go get themselves sick from the building, they're going to cut grass. Well, since they don't want no group of people going there to cut grass, there are the harvesters who are used to harvest the cane. Two of them up need must. And they could be used, put one in there And in 45 minutes, the whole pasture don't cut down with one harvester. So if they don't know about the harvesters, I am telling them that. Put them in there and clean up the place, because with this epidemic, this corona epidemic, brother, we have to keep those mosquitoes very low. And again, everybody who gathering water in your place, whether it's a borehole pit, a swimming pool, a reservoir, wherever you make in your place, and water settling there, they have to get rid of that. And I am calling on those people who call themselves a decent name, about sanitary inspectors, walking Jodabi. Or you better live up to the assignment of your job, sanitary inspectors. Because we cannot afford to lose one death in this country from nastiness and cleanliness. Are you getting paid? Do all your work, please. Patches, I know me to thumb up. But if I have a little 1 minute thing, I'll come back. But I'm going to request something tonight before you go. I want you to please play for me what some of them say about Dr. Douglas. Choose anyone. And the Ku Klux Klan, Kunumono, and Dr. Purple Ocean, and the other one who take Eugene Hamilton money to do a job and they didn't do it, let it go up on a platform and stop talk. See if they could move unity from there. God bless unity. I'll be back if I get something else. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What is planned for parking in Bastia? Reads this email. The C or Biffront needs filled in for parking. As Senkit surge in automobiles, you have to prepare parking, and Bastia waterfront needs filled in, Newtown and down by the market. Thank you. Read this email. We go back to the lines. Call you live.
Patches, I must commend the new minister for the agriculture department as the minister of agriculture. I believe that he's doing a wonderful job. Patches, anytime I put on the radio and ZIZ, I hear something different coming from the Minister of Agriculture for the farmers, them in the Federation, and that is so good. You understand? Especially with livestock farmers who lose a lot for a few years now coming up to with this dermatophilosis. They kick them, and agriculture has provide something for the farmers them to get back something. Those of us who lose our animals, and those of us who lose our crops in the hurricane season and all these things. And we must commend them, Patches. When you listen to some people, can't to Captain Japan, Licky Japan, Rasta be taught lax. When you listen to some of them talk, you will think of disaster, you think it. Something going on, you think it. Especially those who are on the opposite side. You understand, Patches? And it's so disgraceful to hear that you live in your own country, calling on your country, say nothing to do in your country, and other people from different countries coming in here and prosper in farming, construction, or whatever they put themselves into. And you hear people going on, especially the former Prime Minister, coming to about nothing doing and under the COVID. People who out there, government make no sacrifice for them, and it look like they prefer tourists and the people who out there. You understand? And that's why they be where they be, you know. Because people get fed up with his nonsense and he talk. And I want to tell my good friend in camps there. My good friend, let me tell you something, right? Not in matter that we talking about the opposition. In any country, right? We got a good opposition. You understand? Because them are part of us, and if they succeed to win the election, it's them we got to face. You understand? So you got a good opposition. We can't get a government like before, the farmer leader, because nobody could tell him nothing. Only one man. Even in the CBI program. When you listen to this man come on and talk about the CBI program, the Prime Minister is not a the former Prime Minister, he not economic man. He's a doctor. And only he when you could have asked about the CBI program. And it was so disgraceful. When these gentlemen come on, you can't ask them nothing about the CBI program. You got to ask the Prime Minister. And this is what the country is to face. We out of this now. We got a leader, Dr. Harris, who come from the bosom of Labour, come out of the bosom of PDE. And trying to straighten up things and make things different in this country. So what is what people want? What people like Chapman, Mr. McMahon want. And all those people want. And Miss Barbecue coming on, believe she's the most intelligent woman in Sinkit. And look what she be. You understand? A woman is to teach in education. Coming on and to land-based this government who has doing so much for the ordinary man and woman in the federation. But me go talk about them because me back I'm afraid not one of them. And anytime they call in, as long as they find the word where the station are calling from, and they call it any stupid body government, me Mr. Politics and culture. They got to face us. They got to face us. Patches, and next thing we have a wonderful night. May God bless you and keep you. When you come out of quarantine, and some of them who call in from radio come and talk about this and come and talk about that. You could see the people who represent the Labour Party now. Calling, talking, all kind of nonsense. Yeah? Patches, have a good night, brother.
Brother, have a good night as well. And yes, you must defend your government. Lord have mercy on us. Read this email. Some people were on the propaganda station this afternoon making a fool of themselves, talking pure foolishness. Imagine these jokers want to dictate to the Prime Minister what to say, where to say it, and how to say it. The Prime Minister made a statement in church in respect of a COVID vaccine, and some of them started to curse the church and the preachers. Ha ha, what a joke. Mr. PM, I love your style of leadership. Can't they see you not taking them on with this stupid and senseless criticism? You have the mandate to carry out and we vehemently support what you are doing for the good of all of us. Is there another call? Let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Yes, Mr. Liburd. This is my second test match. I'm coming down like with Richard. Patches, we must congratulate all these young women in Parliament. All of them. And the left and on the right. It showed the quorum, the sounding good, but we want them to be their own. Don't be nobody else. Be your own and talk the facts. And give credit where credit's supposed to go. According to Pambi Nambi. Patches, remember Pambi Nambi? Board steamer, the whole Winchman. Give credit where credit's supposed to go. Patches, before I left, I want to congratulate Alexis Jeffers. He's doing a great job. And the public have to recognize where he's trying to carry agriculture. But Mr. Alexis, if you're listening, get the agriculture to plant back peanuts, local peanuts. We can't go with these foreign nuts. We are customer good nuts. When you're in your home, when you're up the park, you got good nuts coming from the agriculture. I had the opportunity to talk to the director, and he telling me some nonsense about people with teeth nuts. Where we got our army up there for? Where we have an army up there for? If you put in a platter nut, the army must protect these nuts. Let me see the big snake, them and I can find in the wrong there, and they get rid of the wall. We have to give the country where we are customer get. Patches, have a good night. See you when I see you. You know me, and I know you.
Yes, you know me, and I know you. Patches, St. Kitts needs to have a second or backup power station, but down at Dieppe. Read that email. That's reasonable, to not no harm. Always good to decentralize. We go back to the lines caller at 27 before the 10 o'clock hour.
Mr. Liburd, good night. How are you? All that politics say, I am so agree with him, because number 2 is not doing nothing for Central. When he up Newtown with Spanish, let him bring them down to clean Macknight. Mr. Liburd, how long the opposition was there, what they give Pam people. Mr. Liburd, that's nothing for her nonsense for we to respect. Pam neither get hog-head nor house. Let her talk about that. The out, stay out. Mr. Liburd, your email was saying more foreigners must come in and have skill. Kittitian have skill too. When more come in, what our natives away will do, and school leavers, because it's them one getting all the work right now, because Kittitian calling down their own that they're watching, and the Kittitian must stop shop by them. See you. Good night.
Sounds like Alice in Wonderland. Patches, when the electricity went, Freedom Radio had a rejoicing, playing Slim Edwards, song Lights Gone Again, Lights Gone Again. Then they're out a rumor, no current, coming back until the 17th of November. And it was a raucous laughter. They even went on to say Patches is responsible for it. What a foolish remark, but it was a shock to Freedom Pappy shows when the electricity was quickly restored. We go back to the lines at 25 before 10. Call you live.
Good night, Mr. Liburd. How are you, sir? Hello? Hello? Liburd. I'm surprised that in 2 years now, we at the East Bus Terminal having a havoc to deal with here in St. Kitts and Nevis, which we all say we dearly love and we want to see prosper, we want to see it go global. Well, Mr. Liburd is going for 2 years now, and the East Bus Terminal has been treated like I never seen before. And we have a serious problem, and we ask to see the minister. I know you was a former minister. You were working on certain things, and it hasn't been done. We ask to see the minister now, the present minister. Still can't see him. We went through all the small channels, to the police, to the ministry, to the PS. Nothing has been done. Up to now, you have people driving up and down in St. Kitts, picking up passengers anywhere they like. And when you tell them anything, they tell you all kind of Christmas stories. That there is no law said that they cannot pick up nobody from here, cannot pick up nobody from there. Well, Mr. Liburd, I would like to see the East Terminal work, but if it's going to continue like this, there is not going to be at East Terminal no more. That is what you already run on, that the best terminal in St. Kitts and Nevis in the Caribbean. Well, Mr. Liburd, is not the best terminal for the operators right now inside there because it's not working for us. And we need we fair share. If the terminal is going to work, then everybody needs to work from the terminal, not some running all over St. Kitts. And some of them have to stay inside there waiting and begging and praying and hoping. So, Mr. Liburd, I would really like for you to ask the minister now, I know you are an ambassador, for you to ask the minister now to have the East Bus Association have an appointment with him. Otherwise, we're going to take to the streets. Because we cannot stay inside there and people calling us hags and goats and in prison. So, Mr. Liburd, I hope this goes a long way tonight because we are not going to be sitting down idly anymore. We have done what we have done. We are doing what we're going to do, and that is what's going to happen. So, Mr. Liburd, please to make sure that you ask the present minister to deal with this situation. It's very serious. Good night, sir.
Yes, good night. I take heed, and I would ask my colleague, or former cabinet colleague, I could say, that at least consultation is always preferred to confrontation. I call on you live.
Good night, Patches. I was listening to the caller just now. I am a shopper. So what do you mean to tell us we must walk from down by Rams and go up Baker's Corner with luggage. That's what he means to say. But I'm not supporting that. We are the shepherds. We don't get a lot of baggage. So we cannot walk from down by Rams and go all the way up Baker's Corner. Walk it. We got to have buses down the terminal to help us. So what are you talking about? Anyway, another thing. How long, when you send in for your gratuity, how long you supposed to wait before you get your gratuity? Because it's been 9 months now since I'm home without a dollar, and up to now I can't get the money. 9 months I sending me gratuity. And I talked to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister called Miss James. Miss James called me and told me that they could not find me paper, but however they find it and they work on it, and they told me that they sent it down to the ministry. And up to now, it's going for another month without I get the money. So I would just like you to look into that for me, please. Thank you.
I ask a question on your behalf. I take it if you say gratuity, that's from the hospitality sector or the industrial sector. But let's go back to the lines. Caller, you.
Yeah, good night. This is Sugar out of West Palm. That bus driver was called a while ago. I'm agree with the lady who called him. Because if a bus ain't want to go in the terminal, it won't go in. A bus could just come and put off and gone again. You could just keep running all day. You ain't compelled to go in a terminal to park up. You do what you have to do. If you don't want to go in there, go line up. You just come put off and you're gone again. Running all day. All the best to you, Patrice. Up to the time. Save your mama.
Thank you. Well, we don't know all the issues, but there's an East Bus Line Association, just like a West Bus Line Association and the St. Peter's as well. But the membership take collective decisions, and once they're collective, then everybody should abide. But caller, your life.
Yes, greetings. We don't keep it in the vein at the bus terminal. The one down south, the new one was just built. We have a problem down there, you know. Although you're not in office, you must can pull a plug. The bathroom is closed. People are defecating in the surrounding areas, you know, the market nearby. And there's also a problem with the supervisor supervision. Not working in good cohesiveness with the workers. Like, for instance, a worker will reach, like a worker like Brother Bumpy will reach and want to do his thing in cleaning up the area, and he have to wait for hours on a supervisor or next person to get something like bags. Them thing there shouldn't be. That is nonsense. But anyhow, so that should be rectified. But anyhow, the opening of the toilet is the bigger issue. And in the same vein, I would like to remind whom it may concern that the folks who travel to Monkey Hill are in need of the same facilities and urgently in need of the same facilities and a bus terminus. Someone has suggested that we use down by where Miss Granny used to be. That area within itself, we have to take up the whole block for that. It's a good suggestion. But we'll have to take up cool, go right, wrong, go right, wrong, go right, wrong, the whole block. And I don't know if the money is, if I don't know how it goes in terms of if them going to sell and if the monies will be available. But the Monkey Hill, people them want a bus terminus. That street thing is not going to work. It needs to be rectified. And the PP and the rankiness continues in different areas because no facilities are there. We are not animals. We are human beings. All the way. So things need to set as it ought to set. Give thanks for listening to us. Best wishes, blessed love.
Blessed love, my dear brother. Your points are taken. I'm aware that even prior to my exit, an area was identified for the St. Peter's bus line terminal, but that too is a private property, and I can't tell you where the negotiations are right now, but I'll get some information as soon as possible. At 15 before 10, we go back to the lines.
Hello, good night. Yes, Mr. Patches, down there at the bus terminal. I don't know who really put out the orders, but I believe the order put out wrong. The 3 bus site movement could hold you. West side, east side, and north side. All we had to do just go in order. And next thing, right across my area there, I don't know how we're going to make money, you know. They put a yellow line there where people could have come and line. All they got to do was to do it in, put an order. Say, anything after 4 or 5, anybody could park up there. But they put a yellow line there and running the customers who used to come and park there and, you know, support the bar. So right now, when it comes to Friday, you're lucky if we get customers, we get, and if we ain't get, that's it. I don't know how this country running. And when you talk to people say, I ain't like the government, you ain't like the government, you know. It's freedom of speech. You must talk what hurting you. Right? Because government, like, they can't give everybody the money, what they're supposed to give out. They give what they feel like and take back, and then give what they want. And I don't understand what's going on in this country. Right? They need to move the yellow line like the people who used to come there line by me in the Spanish bar and go down a little further, get some sale. We ain't getting no sale at Friday time. People come there, usually customers gonna come, but maybe 3 or 4 people, and after 5 or 6 they gone, and you don't see nobody again. I don't know the Indian, them ain't born here, them do getting all the money, you know. I ain't understand what's going on in this country here. You look like you're only for foreigners, rich, and everybody come in and say, I born here, and if I can't make no money, why you want me to go to thief? Me ain't gonna thief to please nobody, so I beg whoever traffic person put the bus stop, the yellow line there, they need to come and move it. I say uprising, they're coming up and put some yellow, some white paint on it now, so me against the law. Me I go about the law, I ain't go about the law, I don't hurt people feel, you know. After people don't run up and down behind all your fall these years, you see thanks for people getting now uncomfortable, unpleasable, and everything. I beg you hard, talk to some traffic person, let them come and mow the yellow line. The bus them when they can't come in, they done parking up going down to the west side to the west side all the time. They come pick up the people and they're gone. And if I'm gonna get a line there, someday line nobody ain't doing nothing. Nobody's stopping there. People gonna make money down, drop out, come down in a parachute now.
and pick up the drinks and then go again. I not feel for the poor people at all in this country. I just so fed up of this country. I better take the green card and get to head out of here. Because I ain't seen no why government to I run behind. You see, must like he failing me now. I'm afraid to talk because here I was born in 1952. So nobody come and say, let's see, she don't open bar to the door. Open bar, no money down there making. To go down there, nothing, and somebody come knock me out and when they still ain't get no money. I beg you fix the place there for me, you hear? You want to fix badly. They need to move the line, man. Because I mean, it's an objection with the line. I don't know why they put it there for in the first place. We let it go on. Yeah?
Got you loud and clear. Patches, the member for number 6 went into Church Street, reads this email, and ridiculed the PM for paying $800,000 for their vaccines, talking about the EU will be giving a grant. Patches, what was the villain trying to say? I ask now, is Douglas and Asim Martin prepared to go on live TV and have an FBI polygrapher ask them how much Gaddafi gave them for the people of the Federation and where did it go? Patches, they are fussing at the PM about the 2 weeks quarantine. Do you know if you move from Chicago to New York, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks? Are they crazy doctors of the opposition saying it is okay for New York to quarantine, but not our federation? Shame on them. People of the federation will never ever entertain them again ever. Call
Hello, Patrick. Good evening. You are saying that when we ain't got our no mask, we got to pay money. But at the memorial, the deputy, he didn't have no mask out of everybody, and you ain't got no control over him. So when the people are telling you about the road and he ain't come, you can't get no control over him because he's the boss and he ain't gonna look down at you all. So just talk to him briefly. Don't hold an argument because one day by the memorial by center, he had no mask and people from center, Thomas and Senquai called and said, but I went there, but I didn't remember seeing him. But the people from St. Thomas and call and say, he on the video, no mask, the next to with the Prime Minister. See you.
Got you loud and clear. I can't understand why the big rejoicing by Freedom Radio over the female opposition contribution in Parliament. They are saying she was erudite, articulate, etc., etc. Okay, fair enough. However, I was not impressed because it was a written speech and it begs the question who wrote that speech for her. Is it Douglas, Marcella, or the executive of the Labour wrote and crafted Jeffries and Miss Clark's speech? Why they didn't follow the nominated member on the government side and speak without paper? I really thought, Patches, that members of parliament were to speak unscripted when making their presentation. And Jeffrey fumbled so much despite he was reading. They cannot touch you. Patches, boy, read this email. Let's go back to the lines. I'll call as we wind down at 7 before 10.
Patches, good night. Patches, I believe, right, the government got to get serious with some of these people who got the boot down the terminal. Because, Patches, some do only twice a week, some boot up down there, and some don't open at all. Or you know, two boot down there, one of them don't open at all. And one does open twice a week, Saturday and Friday. And people be so things that come at about yellow line. I want to know if yellow line up by Rams and yellow line on 4th Street, yellow line all over the place that they can't park. What yellow line got to do with people come spend the money when they don't work? What yellow line got to do with that, Patches? You understand?
But anybody could stay in 2 days a week and make money? You all need to look. Let somebody get the boot them down there who really want to work and want something to do. Some people down there, they don't open the boot. Only Friday and Saturdays. And come here talk about yellow line, it sounds so disgraceful. I don't been tongue every day. And the lady with the scar, she bar always closed. What yellow line? What yellow line got to do? How only she want to complain about yellow line? Look, all the West of them, all the West bar people them down there. Who don't sell a little food, who don't sell a little chicken, who don't sell a little fried fish. They not complain. You understand? These people don't have nothing to say, and I don't know whether to take up the phone, calling from the radio, who talk about. Everybody got their parties. I'm agree that people got their own opinion and got their way to say what they want to say, right? But she ain't have no opinion, nothing, because she bar closed every day. And when you tell her, Mister, when can I buy open? You think you won't kill me? You think you're this or you think me and that? I come and talk about yellow line. I don't want when people don't waste their life and waste their time. I don't want them to keep out a young people thing unless somebody move on and run their fears. But you love a wonderful. God bless you. I get emotional.
Yes, you did get emotional, my brother. As you said, she's entitled to a view. Good night, Mr. Patches Liburd. I am a Kititian living in Houston and want to commend the Prime Minister and his team for the great work they are doing and continue to do at this time regarding the pandemic. I don't understand how anyone could be in agreement of the opening the border to any and everyone just because they are citizens without following proper protocols. That to me is like playing Russian roulette, especially now that the numbers are going up in the hot zones. God bless the government and the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. One love reads this email. Let's go back to the lines. My Straight Talk family, you're live.
The caller before politics, what they were saying, ha ha ha, all right.
Okay, that's what Straight Talk is all about. Patches, there are airport terminals that are smaller than St. Kitts RLB terminal, and they have more than 4 jet bridges. Is there any plan to put boarding bridges in that present RLB terminal? We want to know, because when it rains, you see the need. And with jetways, you see the jet planes go right up to the building, and in that process, you save lots of spaces on the tarmac. Give us some insight. Thank you. Read that email. Caller?
Hey, good night, Patches. Me again. I just want people in St. Kitts and Nevis to understand that the government built a multi-million-dollar East Bus Terminal. And if that bus terminal is supposed to be working, is the government choose it? Is the government doing it for the people? Then that is what you said, Patches. That is what the government doing for the people. Because the congestion in Bastille is too much. They're trying to get the traffic a little bit out of Bastille. So please let everyone know that the East Bus Terminal is not the busman's choice. It is the government choice. And the government build it and put it there. And we decide, okay, we're going to work with the government and go in there and operate. But then when people going up and down the place, I mean, that is why St. Kitts and Nevis would always be like this. Everybody wants things in their hand to their mouth. And when we're going to realize that that cannot happen right now? It's not anymore. This is not the 1980s. We have color TV now. We don't have black and white TV anymore. We don't have this lot of pit toilets anymore. So people need to understand that if the government build the terminal, we only have to operate there because the government did it. It's not our choice. So for it to work, we don't mind going downtown, you know. Mind you, we don't mind going downtown. We don't have a problem with that. But if we're going to stay there, then everyone needs to stay there. If we're going to go downtown, well, then everyone going to go downtown. We don't have a problem with going downtown. But if the government going to force some people to get one way and some going to get the other way, well, then we have to fight for it. because it's not our choice. So please, people, understand that. And before time, there were shuttles. And there's opportunity for more businesses for shuttles and them kind of stuff, okay? And when people got jamming at night, I had to find out your way. However I get there, I had to beg ride, I had to run, I had to go jam and come back till next morning, okay? So when I talking, if I love St. Kitts and Nevis, I stop this politics thing and stop this fighting down about, oh, this person want this, and what about your bags? Well, you didn't know, you get walk with bags when you go jamming at night time. I left it chewing them home. Okay, so people need to understand that, Patches.
Got you loud and clear, my Straight Talk family. And yes, there ought to be some consultation. We normally talk with the bus association, the bus drivers, so that shouldn't be a difficulty. Patches, I would like to tell Jamdown that it's a waste of time talking to the Director of Agriculture. He's always very negative. Crops like peanuts are a great source of income, and not only that, peanut crops enriches the soil. These imported peanuts are no good. They do not taste good, and sometimes when you buy some from the supermarket, they are full of insects. We need a new Director of Agriculture, though, reads this email. Let us go back to the lines as we wind down tonight's program and call you live.
Mr. Patches, good night again. It's me again. I am my bar for 21 years. And let me tell a person, this is the worst I ever had. Because of the pandemic, I understand that. But I mean, what I want to say, if that line wasn't there on Friday afternoon alone, I think I'd have to go to. Telling you cannot just go and buy things with stone and so. Got to buy things with money. And if you're making no money, how are you going to buy things? But open. Actually, we give money to run a business, you know. Their businesses to just go down there but and sell to cattle and go up by the place there and get money from the government. My business is not set up like that. I don't know why they don't let me talk my piece. Their business is different to mine. I am not doing that. I'm not going out to go do no landscaping. I have my business until year 21. You know me years I down there and I used to be comfortable with there. I'm talking about the yellow line. I don't say whether they have to put that there. They need to move it. You know, he have no reason to be there. Because when I asked, at first I never looking deep down into it because the bus I used to park up there before the terminal finish. And after they finish, I noticed they put one there. And when I asked what it's about, they said they want nobody park there. Everybody going to Port Zante. When they go to Port Zante, you know, where they go, Mr. Liburd, they go to the Chinese, because China sell 3 for 10. Nobody have no law here, nothing. Go over by Port Zante, you're going to same 3 for 10. So I go to park my car over there in the parking lot and come back down the terminal for what? It's common sense I talking. I went to school on midnight, you know. I went Molyneux school and I went from 8 to 4. I may went on holidays, which is August. I don't know why people don't let people express themselves. They could guide, but the guy better than you, and they must hush the mouth. The bloody mouth can't tell man in from England used to say. I know what I'm saying. If you come down here, look at the trend. By now, around 6, 7 o'clock, nobody, you don't see a few people about after 5, after 3, 4, 5. And from 7, they used to keep people want to come and, like, you know, you park in your car and you like a while and then you drive off. Somebody else come park, like drive off again, gone. He's not no customer. He just come down and when you tell him a drink is for $3.50, he say, oh, let me go there, I could get it for $2. So I mean, over here, what is his problem? I'm talking in my country where we're born and if me on a democratic right here, but I go on grill or somewhere go live or some mountain or somewhere go live. This is my right. Well, what about shut down bar and open bar? I open the bar when I want, I shut it when I want. I'm talking about I don't like the trend or down there, the trend. I will vote for government. I vote for this government unity in June there. And if I can't come and express myself, but I drink something and go to the burying ground faster than ever. So must let me express myself, man. You see, I was born.
Okay, yes, that's what Street Talk is all about. Express yourselves, Mr. Liburd. You need to elaborate on the questions that are being posed by email and not just read them and go on to the next caller. Some of them keep saying the same thing show after show. We are giving ideas that in the uplifting and progress of St. Kitts, my Street Talk family. Yes, as we wind down tonight's programming, I'll perhaps take one more call, or maybe I should just wrap things up. I'll take this final call if that caller can be guided by the rules of brevity. I'll give you a few seconds. Can you use 30 seconds, caller? You're live.
That's it. I just call in here to say I agree with Jam Down. We need to plant nuts. And the army man them up there, let them go guard the field, because Mr. Bradshaw used to do it. And you need to tell some people 2 minutes and not 4 minutes when they come on the phone. Have a good night. Thank you.
I perhaps have about 2 more programs. All goes well, and I'm released from quarantine. So I'll be at the studio, God's willing, next week. But that's the way we're going to end it, my Straight Dog family, because my time is long done, and I've got to run and make way for the mayor of St. Paul's, Theo Clark. Don't move your dial, because he comes up next with those oldie goldies in particular. But in the process, I want to thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight, and as always, I want to thank you, the many callers, those who listen, those who send emails, and there are those who are on social media as well, Facebook, YouTube. Remember, you all are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. I'm Ian Patches Liburd, and God's willing, we will connect on Monday next week. Until then, have yourself a wonderful weekend. Go to church, spend some time with in the presence of the Almighty. Do your chores, but all you do, be good to yourselves and to all whom you meet. Remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you got to believe. So whatever your mind conceive, yes, you just got to believe and you will achieve. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light. Thank Him for taking you through the night. And my Straight Talk family, keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Monday, have yourself a wonderful weekend.
Morning, I thank God for the morning light, giving thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night.